Ireland, like most of Europe, is obviously facing a very difficult winter, as has been said earlier. Energy prices, particularly natural gas, are a multiple of previous years. Many of us in the Dáil and the Ministry were aware of this. We've warned about this situation arising, and it's a pity not more quick fixes were initiated, particularly for households as we face the winter, particularly around the small-scale retrofitting. And I note the Minister's statement there about the figures having doubled on 2021, particularly for those on low incomes. However, if you look at my own area in Dunleary Rathdown, just 80 out of the 4,500 council-owned homes have been retrofitted. The window and door replacement programme is on hold until 2023, and yet, while progress has been made in terms of active travel, money has gone back to the Exchequer in that county, and that's just an example of that area as opposed to others. The Belgian Prime Minister said that we could be facing this crisis for 5 to 10 years. I hope he's wrong. However, we need to obviously support retrofitting urgently over the next couple of months. Businesses and households, Minister, are facing enormous costs and increases in prices, and that's why obviously there's a lot of emphasis placed on Budget 2023, and we need to see greater increases and supports for those for fuel allowance, and obviously the continuation of reductions in VAT and duty. Just in terms of additional consumer protections, whilst the existing ones are welcome, I have serious concerns in relation to what was been approved by the CRU. For example, people are being told that they should reduce their peak time usage, and that's understandable given what we've been discussing. Suppliers like SSE Electricity plan to increase their off-peak rates by an eye-watering 62%. But just if I can finish then, Minister, in relation to the absence of the smart meters and day and night meters in most households, the issue of the peak and off-peak is real problematic. Most of the consumers are on 24-hour gas or electricity meters, and it might be worthwhile considering a standard monthly allowance or a tariff price at a reasonable rate, and give people the opportunity of a basic supply with graduated tariffs beyond that. And if I can just ask my questions then, just in terms of, I have 3 questions for the Minister, I have 2 questions for CRU and 2 for EirGrid. Minister, what is the Irish gas storage capacity at present? And also, in the event, and what we heard from the EirGrid, in the event of the gas rationing in the UK in the coming winter, if that does become a problem, considering exports through the Moffat pipeline to Ireland are likely to be rationed as a result of that, what emergency measures do we have here to mitigate any gas shortages? And also, today's Irish Independent, there's the issue about the Corrib gas field possibly continuing to 2036, looking at renewable options. And Minister, have you met with the Indigenous industry since coming into office? And then finally, then in terms of questions for the CRU and EirGrid, going from EirGrid's statement, the annual generation capacity statement, you said that's coming in the next couple of weeks. But you also highlighted that since 2017, EirGrid has identified via that statement increased tightness between supply and demand and of adequate generation capacity challenges. I'm just wondering how that fell on deaf ears for so long. And I'll come back in the second round then.
Thanks. You've used up your quota for the second round as well, Deputy. I think the first question was to the Minister.
Minister, yep.
Yes, I have met every industry involved in the energy and environmental area. With regard to the UK and gas security, maybe I might just refer, there was a statement from the UK government spokesman earlier in August, where they said the UK has no issues with either gas or electricity supply, and the UK government is fully prepared for any scenario, even those that are extreme and very unlikely to occur. We have long established cooperation mechanisms with Ireland that would ensure gas supply to Ireland in the event of any emergency. Now, we cannot rule anything out, and the SEPA report, which will be published within the coming weeks, will look at every aspect of this and make sure that we do have provisions in terms of for every eventuality, and that will set out. Can I make just one additional very brief point? I think your point about the role of local authorities is absolutely correct. I think what we need is everyone in this country now to really focus on energy efficiency in everything we do. Our Reduce Your Use campaign is going to be ramped up and really has to be, it's the best protection against high prices. You're right, our local authorities have not delivered quickly enough the scale of retrofitting that we need and want, and haven't been spending the budgets in both that and other areas like active travel that would deliver efficiency and protect our people in this time. We have to all collectively now work together, particularly from the most vulnerable households, the ones that are in lower incomes and in inefficient homes. We have to raise a sharp focus on those people and protect them through this next 2 to 3 year period.
Great.